Techno Brain was ranked second among the 50 fastest growing tech firms in Africa. And that was in the 2014 edition of Deloitte Technology Africa Fast 50. The company's grown by 621% between 2009 and 2014. Techno Brain does offer various software solutions to governments, NGOs, private companies in 23 countries. In commenting on the ranking at the time, Group CEO Manoj Shanker told CIO magazine of the company's belief in world-class solutions being created right here in Africa. The firm has since acquired TRIPS in customs and revenue software, which is seen as the backbone of efficient revenue collection by governments right across the world. Now, in the next 4 minutes or so, we're going to essentially compare the Silicon Valley experience with the Silicon Savannah experience. Let's get you some experience from someone who's actually been in the front lines. We're talking to the CEO of Techno Brain, Manoj Shanker, who's with me right now in studio. Thank you for your time this evening. Based on your decades of experience in the ICT industry, especially in Africa, where has a state-led, top-down approach to building tech industry clusters like Kenya's Konza projects ever worked? Is it even viable?
Well, yeah, that's a great question. Many governments have taken great initiatives, and I believe that government is only an enabler. And many progressive governments have proven that if they build infrastructure, if they're creating an enabling environment, it does attract investments, and especially from the tech firms. Talking very specific about Konza City, I think it is a great plan. But unfortunately, we haven't really seen action on the ground, and I feel Kenya is in a unique position. And if they really translate this dream of Konza City into reality, is going to work.
Indeed. Give us a sense of, from your perspective, given again your experience in working in East Africa, you've cited governance as a key concern for your operations in East Africa. Why?
Well, when I quoted that there is a need for a better governance in East Africa and governance in Africa as a large, what I meant is that, for example, procurement. Procurement is a process which is still a long way to go in East Africa and in the rest of the sub-Saharan Africa. And I strongly believe that the government can do a lot of things about it. And if they introduce things like e-procurement, make the procurement very transparent, and a very inclusive process, it will definitely help companies like Techno Brain. And also, I feel that being a local African company, there has to be some incentive given for a company like us to produce local content, and that's what we are doing today.
Indeed, and of course in the same vein you also established that, or rather you made it fairly clear that you admire what Rwanda has been doing. Let's get back to the argument that you've made, however, about automation of core state services. To some extent, won't that tackle or at least reduce the governance problem right across the region? Absolutely,
I totally agree with you. I think many countries have proven that if they remove the middleman from various government services, it becomes much more efficient to service the citizens. There are several government institutions, which provide services to the citizens. And I strongly believe that if you automate many of such processes, for example, if you want to apply for a driving license or a passport issuance system, or you want to pay electricity bill, you really don't need a middleman today. You can go online and do it, and that's what the rest of the world is doing it. I appreciate the initiative taken by the government here, the Huduma project. It's an initial phase, and I believe that if they really roll out this project, it's going to really help Kenya.
Indeed. Let's talk about the problem, to put it mildly, of being an African company pitching for business outside the continent. Is there a perception penalty that the firm has to overcome if you're pitching for business, say, in Europe or Asia or the Americas?
Absolutely. I think today, if you say that you are a large multinational company from Africa, people still look at you with a little bit of suspicious, because I guess we are still not known to produce global world-class companies. And Techno Brain does fight this kind of perception, especially when we want to do business in US and in the rest of the Asia. And in order to address this problem, we are taking several steps. We want to be a world-class company. Today we are probably the only company in sub-Saharan Africa which has been CMM level 5 assessed. That really ranks us among the best companies in the world in developing software. There are several such steps which we are doing. We are doing today business in US. We have acquired a company, a product in UK. These are the steps which we are taking, and I believe in next 5 to 10 years, companies like Techno Brain will be definitely known globally.
Indeed. Let's focus on one nitty-gritty aspect of your clients abroad, data protection laws. In East Africa, for example, our legal system here is well behind the curve in terms of data protection, or at least dealing with cybercrime. Isn't this a competitive disadvantage for you?
Absolutely. I strongly feel that, again, this is an area where government should really push it hard. Today there are a lot of outsourcing business which we are trying to get it from Western countries. Because of a lack of a very strong data protection law, we cannot get those businesses, and there is no other alternative but to introduce that bill and also enforce it. It brings in a lot of confidence in various buyers worldwide, and also it also helps to bring in investment in the technology sector. I wish especially the Kenyan government really speed track this. It's not really helping company like us.
Indeed. We'll leave it there for the time being. Thank you very much for your input tonight. Manoj Shanker is the CEO of Techno Brain. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, B2B business focusing on ICT and, of course, 100% African.